Why be ordinary when you can be flamboyant? Wancheka Radio. Be flamboyant.
Good evening, and here are the major stories for today. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has reacted to a statement credited to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, faulting his stance on the restructuring of Nigeria. Speaking at a town hall meeting in Minnesota, USA, Osinbajo had said the problem of Nigeria was not a geographical restructuring, but prudent management of natural resources. The Vice President had also noted that the prudent management of the nation's resources and the provision of essential needs of the people were better ways of addressing Nigeria's development challenges. But Atiku Abubakar, while addressing the forum last Saturday, faulted Osinbajo's comments, stressing that the current Vice President got it wrong on restructuring. However, in an open letter signed by Osinbajo and made available to newsmen today, the Vice President insisted that restructuring, in whatever shape or form, will not mean much if political leaders see public resources as an extension of their bank accounts. The Eco Electricity Distribution Company PLC has attributed the prolonged power outage in parts of Mushin area of Lagos State to lack of access to the faulty feeder supplying electricity to the area. General Manager Communications Godwin Idemudia told newsmen today that the power outage in the communities listed as Igbeyi, Ifetedo, Ishokon and Ifesowapo were caused by a faulty 11 kV feeder which tripped off on August 24. According to him, the claims made by the affected communities that they were deliberately put in total darkness was fictitious and inaccurate. He said the company had made efforts to restore electricity to the areas, having identified the problem, but was restricted by residents of the communities who denied the company workers access to the site of the faulty feeder. Also, efforts to dialogue with the community's representatives to resolve the issue proved abortive. Rather, they preferred violence, and that has made the company's management withdraw its workers from the area for their safety. Former Senate President David Mark today picked his nomination forms to contest the 2019 presidential election under the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. Mark collected the forms amid cheers at the People's Democratic Party Secretariat in Abuja. Speaking shortly after picking the forms, the former military governor of Niger State promised to turn the nation's economy around in 2 years. Reports say the police this Tuesday raided the Asokoro Abuja residence of South-South leader Edwin Clark. The policemen were said to have raided the house on the orders of the Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris, following allegations that Clark had some arms and ammunition in his custody. The policemen reportedly arrived Clark's residence at 1:30 p.m. and left the premises at 2:30 p.m. without finding any incriminating evidence or ammunition in the house. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it has registered 443,000 new voters in the just concluded continuous voters registration in Plateau State. Head of Voter Education and Publicity in Plateau State, Imayirebo Sariti, made the disclosure during an interview today and said the figure represented the total number of persons registered between April 2017 and August 2018. He further explained that the Commission had only suspended the exercise and would resume after the 2019 general elections. Osariti also said INEC had displayed information of the newly registered voters at various local government area headquarters in the state and advised members of the public to check their names in order to avoid mistakes when printing their permanent voters' cards. In international news, at least 12 people have been killed after a landslide triggered by heavy rains in Ethiopia's rural southwest this Tuesday. State media reports that 4 people were injured in the disaster, which occurred in the Isara district of the country. The bodies of 10 people have so far been discovered, and the search for bodies of the remaining 2 persons is ongoing, according to the district police chief. Russian warplanes have reportedly bombed the rebel-held Syrian province of Idlib as government troops mass ahead of what may be a major offensive. If confirmed, there would be the first such airstrikes in that area in 3 weeks. Earlier, US President Donald Trump warned Syria's President Bashar al-Assad against launching a reckless attack on Idlib. But Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov rejected the warning and said the Syrian army was getting ready to clear a cradle of terrorism there. Peskov said the Al-Qaeda-linked jihadists dominating Idlib were threatening Russian military bases in Syria and blocking a political solution to the civil war. The United Nations has in the meantime warned of a humanitarian catastrophe if an all-out assault takes place. And Japan has been hit by its strongest typhoon in 25 years, causing at least 6 deaths and 160 injuries. Typhoon Jebi made landfall in western areas, bringing heavy rain and reports of winds of up to 172 km per hour. In Osaka Bay, it swept a tanker into a bridge, and in Kyoto, part of a railway station roof came down. Officials have ordered over 1 million people in affected areas to evacuate their homes amid warnings of high waves, flooding and mudslides. The storm reportedly made landfall on Shikoku Island around noon local time this Tuesday and then moved across Japan's largest main island of Honshu. It is expected to weaken as it moves north. In business, the Nigeria Customs Service has impounded 5 vehicles with contraband items valued at over 50,237,400. Controller Federal Operation Unit Zone D, comprising Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Taraba, Bauchi, Gombe, Plateau, Benue and Nasarawa States, Peter Olugbega, disclosed the development at a media briefing at the zonal headquarters in Bauchi. The seizures, Olugbega said, were based on credible intelligence gathering by officers of the service on patrol between August 31 and September 3. He listed some of the contraband items to include cartons of foreign spaghetti noodles, vegetable oil, bags of foreign rice concealed in sacks, bales of second-hand clothing, among others. In entertainment, soul singer Aretha Franklin's family have said they found the closing eulogy at a funeral offensive and distasteful, especially Reverend Jasper Williams Jr.'s sermon that Black America was losing its soul, and his comments describing children raised without a father as abortion after birth. Von Franklin, the singer's nephew, who spoke on behalf of the family, said Reverend Williams spoke for 50 minutes and at no time did he properly eulogize Aretha Franklin, adding that the family feels that the cleric used the platform to push his negative agenda, which the Franklin family does not agree with. Williams' sermon received a mixed response in the church on Friday, as some of the congregation could be heard whispering, quote, "Talk about Aretha," but others gave the speech a standing ovation. Many felt his comments about single-parent families were offensive, especially as Franklin raised 4 children by herself. The pastor has not backed down from anything he said at the funeral and said he respects the family's opinion. Responding to criticism of his eulogy at the weekend, Williams Jr. said some of his comments had been misunderstood. Former Top Gear presenter Chris Evans has denied that his move from BBC Radio 2 to Virgin Radio is motivated by money. A day after announcing his departure from the Radio 2 breakfast show, Evans addressed newspaper speculation that he would get a pay rise and that he had fallen out with managers at the BBC, insisting it had nothing to do with money and there is no rift whatsoever. Evans was paid £1.66 million for hosting the Radio 2 breakfast show in 2017 to 2018, and there are reports in today's papers that he will receive £2 million a year from Virgin. In sports, Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho has reached a deal with the Spanish state on a 1-year suspended sentence in a long-running tax fraud case, as Spain's El Mundo newspaper reports. The Portuguese national was also fined about €2 million, the paper says. Mourinho was accused of owing almost €3.3 million in undeclared image rights revenue for 2011 and 2012 when he was Real Madrid manager, but the coach claims he had paid all the taxes he owed. He is not expected to serve any time in jail, but Spanish law states that a sentence of under 2 years for a first offense can be served on probation, according to reports. And critics have burnt Nike trainers and clothing in protest at Colin Kaepernick's appointment as the face of the brand's new advertising campaign. The American football quarterback, who is 30, protested against racial injustice and police brutality by kneeling during the U.S. national anthem. In announcing the deal, Nike said Kaepernick was one of the most inspirational athletes of this generation, but opponents have taken to social media promising to destroy Nike products. On Twitter, the critics eat out at the deal using the hashtag #JustBurnIt. a play on Nike's slogan, "Just Do It," which trended on Twitter alongside hashtag boycott Nike. According to social media analysis site Spreadfast, there was more than 800 tweets using the hashtag Just Burn It in the matter of hours earlier today. Andrew H. Scott, the mayor of Kentucky City Coal Run, said he was officially done with Nike and asked Nike to cancel an order, while several videos showed Nike trainers being burnt. However, there has been an outpouring of support for the former San Francisco 49ers player Kaepernick, who first protested by sitting during the national anthem in August of 2016, later opting to kneel. Kaepernick, who has received Amnesty International's highest honor, has been without a team since he opted out of his contract with the 49ers in March of 2017. Nike's new advertising campaign, celebrating the 30th anniversary of its Just Do It slogan, also includes ads featuring tennis star Serena Williams, New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., and Seattle Seahawks rookie linebacker Shaquem Griffin. Those are the major stories for today. I am Binta Bhadmus.
Why be ordinary when you can be flamboyant? One Checker Radio. Be flamboyant.